President Peña Nieto assures the Senate that Mexico can survive a NAFTA collapse. Where will Mexico's presidential battleground be hardest fought? And what gifts does Santa typically bring to Mexicans? Hello and welcome to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm your host, Joseph Garza. Let's get down to the information. If the free trade agreement with the United States and Canada collapses, the $300 billion of annual Mexican exports to the United States will not be in jeopardy, President Enrique Peña Nieto assured the Senate in his fifth report on NAFTA. Peña Nieto reiterated that Mexico has 12 free trade agreements with 46 nations, and 44% of exports from Mexico to the U.S. enter without rate preferences, and business will continue under the World Trade Organization. He recalled that until December, the three North American nations have held 5 rounds of negotiations and concluded 2 chapters, a completely new one referring to small and medium-sized enterprises, and competition, whose provisions were strengthened and modernized to reflect the recent reform to the federal law of economic competition in our country. In addition, he said, substantial progress has been made on issues such as anti-corruption, telecommunications, good regulatory practices, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, trade facilitation, electronic commerce, technical barriers, and various sectoral annexes. President Peña Nieto also talked about diversifying exports. Steady progress is being made in the modernization of other treaties, such as the TLC-UEM with the European Union, the Economic Complementation Agreement with Brazil, the ACE6 partnership with Argentina, and the TPP-1 in Asia. In other news, the old adage says that by nature, politics is local. The reality is that federal elections are decided by the results of the entities in which the nominal list of voters is greater. If you take the first 5 entities in Mexico, you have about 47% of the total electorate. These are the State of Mexico, Mexico City, Veracruz, Jalisco, and Puebla. If we analyze solely this group, the advantage in 2012 was for Peña Nieto, but only with a marginal difference of 62,000 votes. Nowadays, all parties are aware of the segment of voters known as switchers, who represent 54% of the electorate. Switchers are the voters who have not predefined their vote with absolute certainty. They look towards 2 or more electoral options, the one that best satisfied their needs and aspirations. The PRI party's José Antonio Meade's campaign strategy will likely be to try to strengthen his position in entities that are clearly favorable to his party and reduce the disadvantage in others that will surely vote for Andrés Manuel López Obrador, such as Mexico City. López Obrador's strategy would be to seek to broaden the difference in Mexico City, even if it claims that it likes to walk in the towns. And Ricardo Anaya will try to obtain advantage in entities in which the PAN party or the PRD have strength, such as Guanajuato, Puebla, and Veracruz. Moving on, according to a Google survey, Christmas sales in Mexico have increased 10% every year since 2012. And as sales increase, the preferences of Mexicans indicate the most sought-after gifts. This year, clothing, footwear, and accessories were the items most sought after by Mexicans, with 74% of Christmas preferences. Meanwhile, second-place gifts were toys and video games, with about 40%. 3 of the most sought-after video game items were the Nintendo Switch, Resident Evil, and Clash Royale. Next, with 19% of preferences, come smartphones and tablets, with the most wanted item being the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10. And then with 17% comes home entertainment items such as board games. The same survey showed that mom is the relative who receives the most Christmas gifts with 35%, followed by sentimental couples with 22%, children in third place with 18%, and, well, as for dad, his socks tied with other family members, gaining 17% of the gifts. Well, this was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Joseph Garza. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. And from all of us here at Mexico News, have a very Merry Christmas. Until next time.